This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 95. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat Show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. This week's show is broadcast live from Train Fest in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We had a great staff. The crew of Train Fest were absolutely professional and magnificent. They let us drive our vehicle right into the show where we were able to offload an awfully lot of equipment to create this production. I'd like to thank very sincerely all of the crew of Train Fest once again because they were so professional and they catered to our every need. We had a great amount of manufacturers that we interviewed to share all their new products that makes this hobby a joy, the best hobby in the world. So with that, enjoy this 1 hour long show from Train Fest in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. Additional support is provided by Athearn Trains. Check out all their new monthly announcements at athearn.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Cowcatcher Magazine, all about the community of model railroading and rail enthusiasts. Check out their website at www.cowcatchermagazine.com. Also by Train Fest, America's largest operating model train show since 1972. Check out their website and show dates at trainfest.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. Welcome to the What's Neat This Week, show number 95 for November 9th. That was yesterday, 2019. Today we've got a great show for you with a lot of manufacturers that all bring us the joy that is model railroading because this is the best hobby in the world. And tonight I've got on the stage with me Mike Buddy.
Hi.
I've got Campbell Rice sitting right next to Mike.
Hello.
We've got James Regier. Wait till you see the video presentations he's got in November and December What's Neat video over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. I also have James Wright sitting on the end over here. You all know James
Hello.
Wright as being that wonderful gentleman that makes great videos on YouTube, just like we do, except for he shows you basically what's in the box and what do you get. So thank you very much, James. You are just absolutely amazing for what you do for the hobby. So Mike, brother, tell me, how was your run up here?
It was great. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming and let you all know how gratifying it is to get the feedback that we do. It really means a lot, and it makes us keep on going. So thank you all very much. I wish we could have had Josh and Daniel with us, but they couldn't make it this week, but they're very integral parts of the show. So anyway, thanks again. Thanks for everybody coming.
So many people love Joshua Sugarfire Barton. Now, when we left St. Louis, we had beautiful fall colors along the river. It was golden, it was beautiful, and 58 degrees. As soon as we drove the 390 miles north, we found the beautiful white snow and 17 degrees. So when you see the show right now, you're watching all that beautiful snow that I B-rolled earlier this week. And that's kind of how we put on the show. We like to do a presentation where you get to see it while we talk about it. So with that, what we're going to do now is we're going to bring up Larry Harrington, and we're going to bring up Ken Silvestri from Broadway Limited. Larry Harrington, of course, is from Bachman Trains in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hey Larry, welcome, brother.
Hey Ken, how are you doing?
I am
Thanks for
absolutely
having me.
fantastic, and Ken Silvestri, I love your smile all the time.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Starting with you, Larry, tell me what's new in Philadelphia.
We brought something from every one of our scales just to give you a smattering of our new products. The first one I have here is a 70-tonner from Williams, a 3-rail O-gauge. We've got it in 4 road names. It comes with full sound. It's conventionally controlled by the transformer. Very nice detail. Believe we're the first mass marketed 70 tonner on the market. It has 2 motors. I think it's the first one that properly does the slope on the cab on the front, on the hood, not the cab, excuse me. So that's coming in the next 30 days. Next item we have here is something that Ken's going to be involved with us. So we have the Charger locomotive, the SC44 Siemens Charger locomotive. This is our first shot. It's going to be very intricate DCC product. TCS is doing, Wow Sounds is doing the sound package for us.
Yeah,
That was a pretty exciting announcement when you guys came out with it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to have 10 lighting outputs in total. It's also going to feature the see-through corridor that'll be illuminated. The light can be turned on and off with the DCC controls. Lots of added on details, operating strobes, ditch lights, the works.
Now this is going to come in the Amtrak paint scheme. That's the primary new locomotive that they're using now for passenger service?
It's used by the local Department of Transportation right now, but Amtrak is going to be ordering some to replace the Genesis locomotives.
And we're going to put that on the Bachmann 2020 catalog. You'll remember last year we showed how this photograph was shot for the 2019 catalog with this beautiful K4 locomotive in the streamlined version. And we're going to walk you through and show you how to do the scenery and shoot the photo for that fabulous engine for the 2020 catalog next month. So you see that on the What's Neat show, which is part of the magic we like to share.
You know, one of the really neat things I got to experience, I went out to the TTCI testing facility in Pueblo, Colorado. We recorded the sounds over 2 days on this locomotive in a nice environment where we didn't have any background sounds to deal with, and so we should have a really robust sound package on this.
That is really cool. What else you got on the table?
Okay, we have also an HO. We just put the end of train Fred device on the our grain hoppers. So I think they're available in 4 different road names. We did that last year in the 50-foot outside braced box cars. It was a really big hit, so we continue on this. It also
awesome
comes
idea.
in kit form, so you can add to some of your existing rolling stock.
How about that?
We just retooled in HO our high cube box car. Added a sliding door instead of a molded in door. So
40 foot.
Yep, 40-foot high cube. It's in 4 road names. Moving on to N scale. Let's see what we have. We retooled our GP40. It was one of our oldest locomotives we had in N scale. We retooled it to have a lot more detail. We also added sound to it as well. This version has sound, and we also made the ability to make it a dynamic brake or non-dynamic brake version.
That's really cool.
So the
Beautiful.
Boston the main version is non-dynamic brake. I brought that down just to show that.
I see egg liners over there.
The egg liners are, I don't want to skip the trench engine, come on. We got the ON30 trench engine.
ON30, guys. This is
ON30.
narrow gauge.
This is a World War
O-scale.
I engine from, they used to support the troops and supplies, and went right up to the front lines. It's a highly detailed locomotive. Again, this is a TCS sound package in this. They introduced something new with this sound package. It's something they're calling Chuffinity. It's got like 1,000 unique chuff sets that it's going to be really hard to repeat while you're in an operating session.
Excellent.
It's going to, basically react to the load, the grade of the locomotive and the speed. So you're going to get all different types of sounds out of it.
Those guys at TCS, they're downright wizards. I mean,
They are. I mean,
it's
they're
incredible.
incredible. They've done a really good job. As Ken was alluding to, the egg liners are a popular whimsical product we have for Garden Railways. Holidays coming up. This is perfect for around the Christmas tree. It's illuminated. It also has LED markers and headlights on both ends.
Very cool.
We're doing two new ones for our first responders. So you got the fire version and the police version. They will also have a flashing warning light on the roof as
Very,
well.
very cool.
Now, a little bit earlier, you were telling me about the prototypical basis for these headliner or these egg liners.
Egg liners actually was a New York Central prototype. They took 2 observation cars, welded them together or bolted them together, made a yard office out of it. So it was put up on a thing of stilts, and they used it in their yard. So that's where the prototype came from.
That's fantastic. Where is
pretty
that
awesome.
bell? I hear a bell somewhere.
Over there somewhere.
You got anything else from Easy Track, or you just
Easy Track, yeah, I bought this. These are print. 2 new items we brought. First of all, we got a modern flashing bumper with it's painted safety yellow with a amber warning light. Powers when the power's on the track, the light. So it's
Okay.
kind of convenient to use for, if you have your sidings. You can tell if they're powered up that way by the light being on or off. And we're starting to add some. We did the blinking bridge, the truss bridge. This is a girder bridge. It's kind of hard to see in the package here, but
Camera one will catch it.
yeah, okay. So it's made just to plug in the Easy Track. You don't have to do any adaptation to your Easy Track. You just snap it in place and ready to go.
Wow, Larry, that's fantastic. I've also got Ken Silvestri from Broadway Limited sitting up here. And Ken, I know you brought a beautiful model up here, and I'm going to hand it
there
off to you.
I thought it was lost.
No, that thing is sweet. All of the models you make are gorgeous. Your T1 has just come out, and that is just a beautiful Pennsylvania locomotive. But tell me, what are you holding in your hand right now, Ken?
The Northern Pacific 484 hybrid. And the hybrids, thank you. I just love the hybrids. The detail and the beauty, they're just exquisite. And what they are is a brass locomotive, but with a die-cast chassis. And the die-cast chassis is what adds the precision to the drive of them. And that's why we make brass that not only runs, but it smokes, has DCC, sound, rolling thunder. I love the hybrids.
I've seen some of those feature sets develop over the years, and they've gotten pretty fantastic.
And we've got quite a following for the hybrids now.
It's better than brass. The one thing I used to love watching you is all of your videos that you all produce for Broadway Limited. I love your personality and your smile. It was so much fun when you were selling those shoes. You were just so happy. One thing
Thank
that
you.
really comes across loud and clear with you, Ken, has always been your passion for the hobby. Tell me about your passion.
You know, a lot of our customers love, following trains and the real trains. I'm much more interested in making a cool model.
That's awesome.
That would be my hobby, would be like model making, and what we've been able to do at Broadway and other places. It's just been wonderful. And here we are.
That's absolutely fabulous.
I also have an N scale.
N scale from Broadway Limited. Is that the switcher?
Yes. And I think this locomotive is magic to me. Look at the size of it. It has full electronics in it. It has sound. It's dual mode.
How did you
No bass.
How did you fit sound into that locomotive?
I think it's Harry Potter magic.
Yes,
I really
yes,
do.
yes.
It's all die cast, so it gives us the weight because we displaced where we put a lot of weight with all the electronics. So we made it out of die cast, and it gives it the weight and the good traction.
Very
Now,
cool.
That's an important consideration with the sound units, that they also pull their weight. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And these will be in December and January. They'll be here.
Cool. Is that
Excellent.
it, Ken, for what you brought up
That's
here?
what I brought. Yes.
Okay, next, on the video that you watch on the internet right now, we will have Stacy Naffa Wathers and Zach Thompson, and they're going to tell us about their passion for the hobby. Welcome, Stacy Naffa
Thank you.
Wathers and Zach Thompson. I've worked with you a long time ago. You're great.
Thank you.
Stacy, you guys have the most wonderful family operation, very valuable to the hobby, been around forever. Please tell me about your wonderful passion for this hobby.
So this is a family business, obviously. So the passion comes deep from within, from the family business that started by my great grandfather, and I really find a lot of great pride in stewarding it, like my grandfather and my father before me. So I think, and frankly, I think that it's a great hobby today. It's been a great hobby over many, many years, over our 87 years in business, and it continues to be really relevant and important today for both our core customer and for today's youth.
And the youth are in the hobby, and you make a great effort, including sponsoring a show or a program here at Train Fest to bring the youth into the hobby. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're really proud to sponsor the Make and Take here. We've been doing that for a couple years, actually for a lot of years here, where kids can come and make kits. Some are more advanced than others. We also are doing something new this year with the TrainFest Builders program, where students worked, I think, over the last 6 months, and they've been able to create modules that look a little bit more like a traditional model railroad. So it's a little more advanced modeling, and even and then those modules are on display here at TrainFest. And we even extended it through the World's Greatest Hobby program, which I'm the president of that nonprofit organization.
Nice.
We did a really neat summer camp this year with Discovery World here in Milwaukee that focused on STEAM and STEM concepts. And there were 2 modules that were built as part of that, actually kind of like as a city planning project. And those 2 modules are on display here at TrainFest as well.
That's fantastic. Now, Zach, you're really lucky. You work for one of the best family companies in the industry. When you work there, you really feel like you're working among friends, would you say?
Yeah, and it's a company that takes care of the industry. It's a company that is very concerned with keeping all of this going strong and improving and getting more and more people into the hobby, and that's just a really great thing to be a part of. So I'm blessed to be able to have that opportunity, and it's wonderful. We're putting together hobby trains that are making people's lives better. They're giving them a lot of enjoyment, and really that's a great thing to be a part of.
Now, I saw the new Walthers catalog is already out.
It is indeed, every year.
Hold that up and show everybody that beautiful book. Isn't that cool? You've been coming out with this catalog since 1930.
You know what? It's been a very long time. I'm
Right.
not sure if it was in the very first year, but my great-grandfather did kind of take out an ad early on and create the signal and control manual, which was actually kind of the start of our business. So it might not have looked like this with 1,000 pages, but giving information to modelers to help them succeed in their hobby has been pretty fundamental and a part of our mission throughout our history.
I will tell you that the 1979 O-scale Walthers cover is the reason why I even started in this hobby doing photography. It was Vic Roseman's beautiful Dearborn Station on that cover, where he used a pinhole lens, and that showed me the way. That showed me that the models could be so realistic. It is what launched my desire to be in this industry, and I'm still doing it. So thank you for that.
That's great. I didn't know that story. That's fantastic. And I think that actually the catalog and the reference book, we really like to say that it's a source of inspiration.
It is, truly. Now, Zach, you brought some beautiful models today to share. Tell me what these are.
I did. So we actually are debuting the first one, this Illinois Central unit. This is a high hood GP9. It's a Walthers mainline unit, and we just tooled this up. It's coming in January, so we got a rare opportunity to actually show a new tool when it's debuting. They're fantastic pullers. They're actually very wonderful for operating sessions, and they're coming out in 6 different paint schemes. And then the second unit that I brought is this Burlington unit. It's an SD9, and this has been the hit of the show. It's kind of the surprise to the show, but it really shouldn't be, because TrainFest is really celebrating CB&Q this year, and there's a lot of emphasis on the history and modeling of CB&Q, and so this has been a very popular model at the show. It's an SD9 that we tooled up some new 5-light package tooling on the nose for each end of the unit, and it's been really appreciated by the fans.
That is awesome, guys. Stacy, anything else you want to add?
No, I think it's great that you gave us this opportunity to talk to your audience and share a little bit about why we love the hobby. We're really committed to the hobby as it stands today and what it can be in the future. So we're really grateful for all the support that we get here at TrainFest and from all our loyal customers and the new ones that we hope to go out and find.
I say it all the time, this is the best hobby in the world, and it's because of great people just like this.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Welcome, Andy Edelman. Isn't Stacy fantastic? When we get to hear Stacy and Zach Thompson talk about their passion, they are such great people in this hobby.
Oh, Stacy certainly is, and of course she's been around with Walthers, obviously the family and the importance that they've had for the industry and for this show. So it's great to hear her and what she brings to the table.
Tell me about this beautiful daylight on the table in large scale G scale.
Indeed, this is in our 2019-2020 Rail King 1 gauge, 132nd G scale Southern Pacific daylight. This locomotive, equipped with Protosound 3, is out in the market now. It's got digital sound, DCC decoder, smoking whistle, So you can activate the whistle and smoke comes out of it, and it's quillable. So it changes in pitch, and the smoke intensity coming out of the whistle changes in intensity as well based on how that quillable effect is playing. A higher pitch, more whistle, lower, a little bit less smoke. So it's pretty cool. It's one of many G-Gauge models that we've got coming out now and through the first half of 2020, including a brand new SD70 Ace. And that's going to be decorating a bunch of different schemes, some heritage schemes. We'll be running that engine for quite a while, I'm certain. It's not in the booth, but certainly in the catalog. And in addition to that, we've got our O-Gauge catalog just came out, 2020 Volume 1.
It's a beautiful book.
Yeah, it's awesome. Got 500 SKUs in there. You know, we do about 1,500 different SKUs every year. It's amazing how many different things we're able to kick out.
Now, I've known you for about 29 years, Andy, and you've been in the hobby for about 40 years, working the floor and talking to the customers. That is passion.
That's a lot of work, too. But yeah, the next year's my 40th year in the business. I look so good, though, you'd never know.
Yeah,
it's
baby.
pretty good. But it's great, you know, coming out, seeing folks, introducing them to what we bring to the table, all the different product lines, HO, S, O, G. It's amazing what all we do. Like I said, about 1,500 different items a year. 20 years ago, our 20th anniversary, we had built about 2,500 different items. Next year will be over 33,000 items. So in 20 years, the amount of product that we've kicked out is just phenomenal. But coming to these shows and interacting with people, watching what TrainFest has done year after year after year, it's just tremendous. They deserve such a huge amount of support, what they bring to the industry. It's critical. All these manufacturers wouldn't be here without a good show like this, so it's great.
I've seen nothing but smiling faces out there, and this is a really, really big location.
You know, I've got to say, by the way, with that G-scale locomotive, that Daylight, I've seen it go around the track a few times. That thing looks absolutely gorgeous with all the lighting features, the smoke, everything else. It just looks so well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's a lot of fun doing that. It really is. I appreciate the comments. It's a great thing. And if you see something that you think is that's not doing that it should be doing, it probably does do it. Just let us know. We'll show you how it works. It's awesome.
That's awesome. That would look good in my backyard running. Anytime you need video, we can do that.
I hear you.
I've got Denny Jesma up here, and Denny's a gentleman that I met in Kansas City. And if you look at these beautiful jackets behind me, these are not silk screened. These are actually printed. This is art. Denny, tell me about what it is you do.
Well, Yelsville Graphics started in 1985, so this is our 34th year, and we do embroidery. And we are the America's Railroad Embroiderer. You name the logo, we have it. Right now we have over 1,300 different railroad logos. And we reproduce different engines, logos. We do caps, jackets, sweatshirts. We do a lot of stuff for clubs. We do a lot of stuff for the railroads also. But you can see here a typical cat. My wife has mandated to me that it is my goal in life to dress the rail fan in high quality stuff. And so we want you out there watching trains, wearing our beautiful jackets and our hats and sweatshirts and shirts.
And you're going to make some What's Neat this week artifacts for folks to wear.
Absolutely. We're going to be having a logo that says What's Neat in Railroad, and it'll be available from Ken, and I'm sure he's going to have some promotions that you could even win maybe a jacket free or something.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
It's going to say on the front, I've seen What's Neat. Have you? So rock and roll, guys. Thank you both for coming up here, and we're going to move on now. We're going to bring Ryan from Line L, Ryan Kunkel. We're also going to bring up here James Wright. We all love James because he's got some really cool stuff to talk about with Ryan. And we're also going to bring up Janik Bringle from Athearn. So come on up, gentlemen. Watch those wires. This is the best hobby in the world. I mean, come on, guys. This is awesome. Leave it up here. You're good. Man, somebody kill that bell back there. Welcome, Ryan. James Wright. And here comes Athearn Trains, rock and roll guys. Okay. So Ryan, you and James Wright know each other very well. James, you just finished doing a video up at the headquarters of Lionel.
Yep.
And Lionel is coming out now, as you've heard, with HO scale models and also S scale models.
Yes.
So tell us about this.
So Lionel's been, we'll be celebrating our 120th year next year. And we've been in the O-gauge world for most of those years, obviously. It's what we're best known for. We picked up our S-scale American Flyer line about 40 or so years ago now. Have a complete line of S-gauge product out there. We've been on and off again over the decades with HO, but we are coming back in a big way starting this year, and you'll see a lot of new announcements coming out through 2020. So please keep checking back up with Lionel.com for new HO things to come. But we start off this year with a variety of new tooling and sets and so forth. And we're back and hitting all aspects of the hobby.
Now you showed us some track, Ryan.
Yes.
Tell me about this track.
So as we're getting back into the HO world, one of the things that we wanted to do was bring new innovation into the market. And
now you showed this to me yesterday, and guys, check this out. This track is plastic, easy to use track. It doesn't have rail joiners on it, but check this out. Magnets. It just goes together. So think about this for a modular layout where you're setting it up. No rail joiners, guys. And no wires. It conducts its electricity through the magnets. So how about that?
It's a pretty remarkable concept. I mean, I feel like if Apple would come up with track, you know, with all the stuff that they do with magnets, with their power converters and stuff like that, that's the kind of track that they'd go for, I think.
Yeah, it's a very interesting system, very robust. It's perfect for as you get started because there's no rail joiners to misalign, no extra wiring to do. You plug in your power supply into the barrel jack, snap your track together. You can be running trains in seconds with this set. But it has the quality built in there for years to come. So you have nickel silver rail, code 83. You can add rail joiners to this to connect it to other track systems. You have plugs on the bottom for adding in feeder wires if you want to make a more permanent layout. Molded in holes in the ballast so you can tack this down and make it permanent once you've come up with a track design that you like. And we will be expanding this line over the next several years to a complete line of track, multiple curve radii, straights, switches, turnouts, crossings, accessory tracks. The magnets are spaced so they will not interfere with your operating couplers in HO scale. And it's this, along with our Bluetooth technology, are some of the things that we're bringing into the HO world, and hope to have a good start in the entry-level market, but also as we move through 2020, mid-range and high-end product coming out as well.
That's fantastic. One more thing I noticed about your track, you sent me 3 train sets that I was able to do the segues for the December What's Neat over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And on your track, you make it so that people can plug in a wire into the track and have power for all the little buildings that light up around your layout.
Yes, in our O-gauge world, our sets have an accessory track. We have a plug, expand, play system that's designed so that our accessories all have a simple plug on there. If you can plug in a phone jack, you can plug in your lighted accessories or operating accessories. Makes it really easy.
The last thing I want you to talk about is this beautiful Challenger locomotive on the table here. That's cool.
This was one of our Vision Line locomotives from last year. Has a number of great features in there, stack smoke, whistle smoke. It also smokes from the dynamo and the injector. Stereo sound from 3 speakers in the tender and the boiler. It's a wonderful piece. This is one of our fantasy paint schemes. These have been very popular in the O-gauge world, where we take different locomotive paint schemes from various engines and combine them in new ways. So this is sort of the what if the UP had applied the 49er paint scheme onto a Challenger later in life and what it may have looked like. It's always fun when I take these ideas to the art department and see what the real creative people can come up with.
Now this was the same locomotive scheme that they had at Promontory, Utah, is that correct?
Not this one, no. This was an earlier later streamlined paint scheme.
Now, James Wright recently visited Lionel, and we're showing some of the clips right now from that video, James, when you were there. Here you are standing out front of the building. Great big complex that they have. The inside of the building was absolutely amazing with the warehouse space. I had no idea how much product that they have. But the one thing that they do have that you shared with us was this store where they can test bed different marketing ideas and then share that with the hobby shops around the country. What did you think about that, James?
Just an amazing facility overall. It's very impressive. One thing that stuck out to me at Lionel is they're able to do custom cars. That right there in their facility, they can print those custom cars for railroads, different layouts, or if you have I just had my 10th anniversary. They're going to expand into HO scale, isn't that right, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll be looking at our personalized and custom in-house printing for a variety of things. We brought one in, obviously tomorrow being Veterans Day, coming up Veterans Day.
That's
here.
right, it's Veterans Day. There's no mail tomorrow.
This is one of our service boxcars. If you go to Lionel.com, you can personalize a car. We have these for all branches of the service. We also have holidays, Christmas, Father's Day, thank you gifts, get wells, birthdays, and you can load your picture and customize your message. We print these out in-house and ship them out to you. So it's a really cool system that we have that we can do right here in the U.S. in our own facility and order now in time for Christmas.
So they can get printed what they want on their boxcar.
Yes, you can have a one of a kind.
My gosh, that is great. You guys can make a boxcar for Grandpa? I mean, how cool is that? Or for Dad to run on his Lionel set? That would truly be a family heirloom and collector's piece, wouldn't you say?
I would say.
You could put the family portraits right there on your train.
Or your family dog or cat. Rock and roll. Yep. This is the best hobby in the world for reasons just like that. And that's pretty innovative that you've come up with something like that.
Mm-hmm. And I've visited several different companies in the hobby and a lot of great facilities and behind the scenes stuff in Lionel. A really impressive facility.
Wow.
A lot of people like seeing the warehouse there, just all the storage, O-gauge trains take up space.
That's awesome. Now, we've also got Athearn at the table here. Janik, you're with us from Athearn, and Chris Palomares is back working the booth. He's camera shy today. But James, you know what? I'm looking at this beautiful trophy on the table. I'm jealous because I don't have one that looks like that. Tell me about this trophy, and what is this all about?
So 7 years ago, when I started attending the show, I noticed that the manufacturers needed some feedback from viewers and people on social media about what they were doing right, what they could do better. So I basically brought to the table the People's Choice Awards, and the benefit with that was the viewers could vote, and with their vote they entered a $100 giveaway for a gift certificate, and for the manufacturers, whoever won the award, which has a different topic every year, would be recognized with that topic. This year's topic was best rolling stock, so I counted up the votes. There's over 350 votes, and the winner was Athearn Trains. So they have won the award now for the third time, and hadn't won it since 2016. I think they're pretty pleased to bring it back home this year. So I really expected the manufacturers to maybe put it in their bathrooms or something like that. I didn't expect it to be anything, but it does give a voice to the people that do social media and allow the manufacturers to be recognized, and then give something back to the people that voted with that entry to win. And then this year I did an anniversary boxcar for second place winner for that award as well.
Very cool. Janik, you've also got some gorgeous engines up here. I see the Gull Rail, and I also see 1111. Tell us about those.
The Gull Rail is the third of the special Norfolk Southern paint schemes on the ST60E. And it's got the green tribal mark on the back. It's my personal favorite. So those are coming next year, thinking second quarter for delivery. We also got the 1111, which is the UP powered by our People engine. We actually got to go climb over this thing and get up on top of it and see what all the color breaks were. And we got official color codes from UP with it. It's got different schemes on each side, just portraying all the different railroad workers that help keep things moving. It's a beautiful engine. We expect those to come around next month, actually. So.
Well, I've got to say, these two locomotives up here, Ken and I have been doing night photography with them, and they light up very well. Look absolutely gorgeous under moonlit skies. I just got to say, congratulations, you guys.
They've got full LEDs in them, and I love that green roof on this Gull Rail.
Oh, yeah.
This is a pretty hot item. So rock and roll, guys. Next, we're going to move on, and we've got Ron Angstead, and we're going to have Lee English come up here. Ron, is Lee over there? Yeah, he's right behind you. Lee English, come on, brother. Ron Eggstead, I'm looking at this beautiful auto rack that you've got up here. And these things were out of production for a long time, and they were going very high in value. But these have got complete see-through screens on them. I'm telling you what, that's a beautiful model.
Yeah, a lot goes into this model. This is an auto rack. It's a bi-level. It's got etched stainless steel panels, so it has a see-through effect, just like the real cars that you see on the tracks. And working doors also. They function. They open and close. So very nice model.
That is cool. And what other models have you got on the table up here?
Well, we got some good new stuff coming in here over the next couple weeks and couple months. In HO scale, we have brand new tooling. HO scale 4785 cubic foot grain hopper. Real nice product. This is all brand new tooling. We did several versions of this with tooling variations and modifications. It has the etched stainless steel running board on the top, so it has a see-through effect as well. Very realistic and beautifully decorated in Milwaukee Road.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, they are.
Also in HO scale, back 30 years ago when I first started with the company, the second year in business, our first product was just coming out. And we just completed the tooling on an O scale product, and that was the 1937 AAR 40-foot boxcar. We've got one of those in HO scale now, and we just completed some new tooling with the Deco end, and you can see, maybe get a camera shot of that. It's got a waffle end, or the Deco end, which was very specific and common to B&O and C&O, also with the Viking roof, and also a variation of the door as well. So that's a nice model, very cool. Let's see, we've got a new 60-foot PS1 boxcar, and decorated in Illinois Central. A number of beautiful paint schemes as well. Those will be coming in and available in a couple months. We've got a new refrigerator car. I don't think I have that one on the table, but it's an R3018 version refrigerator car. It's a Woodside reefer. Several different PFE paint schemes, and then a 50-foot 50-foot Gunderson. That's the High Cube 50-foot Gunderson. These are built in the 70s, and you see these all over the place. It's got the double door, and another very nice model. That's a part of our value line, so a little less detail based on the actual prototypes, and a little more affordable as well compared to some of the more expensive products.
Now, Ron, you make all these models that are so enjoyable for us all to enjoy. Tell me a little bit about the effort that goes into creating and importing and making the models that bring us joy. Because you guys had a tough period of time there and survived it quite well.
Yeah, you know, sometimes in this hobby we take it for granted, all the great new products coming out from all the different manufacturers, you know, each month and each year. In July of last year, we had an interruption in our supply chain, and which forced us to select, qualify, and get 3 new suppliers up and running, which we've done over the past year. Great products coming out, same high quality standard, and you know, we expect the future to be very bright. We've got a nice supply chain coming, as evidence from, you know, some of these products. HO and N-scale freight car products are on the way. Locomotives in both N-scale and HO are coming soon after. But yeah, it's a lot of work to you know, to identify and qualify the right suppliers, and then supervise, do the research, pass on that information. And whether it's you know, an American manufacturer or an overseas manufacturer, there's always a language barrier. You know, you got to communicate well, and you got to share the right information, and then you got to supervise. My father, many of you know my father, Frank Eggstead. He's 84 years old now, still active in the hobby and still around. He's here at the show somewhere. But one of the things he told me in business, it's not always what you expect, it's what you inspect. So in a lot of cases, it's a matter of, you know, establishing those quality control procedures and then supervising and making sure that it's followed very carefully.
Isn't it amazing? You get to work with your family. Your father's a great guy. He's hit golf balls off the cliff at our What's Neat This Week studios. I remember that day.
Oh, yeah.
It's neat when you can bring the family in. Microengineering lets the family dog run around the facility. Lee English at Bowser, him and his father had worked together for years. This is really a family hobby. It's families that bring us modelers joy.
That's a great point. And there's a lot of camaraderie. You see it with friends that are walking the show, and sometimes fathers are introducing their sons or daughters to the hobby. First-time people. I also want to give Ken some kudos. I heard a story yesterday that a young man was talking about seeing Ken Patterson and James Wright on the videos on YouTube over a few weeks, and then they got excited about it, and then they went into the hobby store and they started buying new equipment and talked his dad into building a layout, and that person just entered the hobby because of what they saw on YouTube. And kudos to these guys that that do these videos and podcasts and get the word out to a new generation, and absolutely more information to all the rest of us as well.
It's all about the fun of model railroading, and you know what? It's just infectious when you see what you can the miniature worlds that you can create with your own hands.
True that.
I think there's something about that just catches like wildfire.
This is the best hobby in the world, guys. Rock and roll. All right, guys, let's bring in here Craig Walker. You'll remember Craig used to work for Athearn, and now he's working for Jason Schron over at Rapido Trains. Craig, come on up here. And I also would like to have George Bogatuk, otherwise known as Goalie George. George, come on up here and tell us the latest things that are going on in Durango, Colorado, brother. What's up, man?
Hello.
Everything's working good up here.
Everything is fun. Love it. Having a great time up here today.
I know, Craig. The one thing I know about you, Craig, is you have this sense of humor. I mean, you don't even try to be, but sometimes I have to laugh. But go ahead and tell me
It's in your contract. No,
what's going on?
We really have to try to laugh.
My models are behind me. I have to get them.
Okay, rock and roll.
So you get to see my best side.
All right, George, let's start out with you, brother. Tell me what is going on in Durango, Colorado with Soundtracks.
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on. We constantly talk, and this is one of the things I love about doing these shows, is we get to talk to people and we get to interact, and people ask us questions all the time. What kind of things can the decoders do, or can your decoder do X, Y, Z? And the fun part is always getting to say yes.
Yes.
And so with our Tsunami 2, we put so much work into it ahead of time, so that now as people are starting to learn more and more about what the models actually do or what the real railroads do, they're learning more and more, and they're finding out that the Tsunami 2 already does all the cool stuff that we're looking for.
Yes.
And so, if you have a Tsunami 2 or if you're interested in trying one out, play around with it. I mean, you can't break the decoder by changing CV values. We test for that to make sure that everything works well. And we do hand test every one of our decoders before it leaves the factory.
Wow, that made a difference right there.
Boy, that just looked weird.
Sound is an amazing thing, and this show will be online. This show that y'all are watching right now is the one that's being recorded. But just keep that microphone pointed right at your mouth, just like this. Yep, that's how that works.
So anyway, to finish up real quick, we hand test every one of our decoders before they leave, and this includes decoders that we built for our OEM partners such as Athearn and Bachmann and others. I mean, every one of those decoders are tested to make sure they work. So you guys can go home, put it in your models, and know it's going to work, and try it out and play with it and experiment. Learn. You may find some cool things that you can do with it that you didn't know it could do before. So,
right.
and as always, we're a phone call or an email away if you have any questions and need help.
Well, I tell you, some of those new features you've come up with, especially in the later editions of the Tsunami 2, have been fantastic. I mean, sounds that you would not even think about needing for a locomotive are now available. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, just to give you a segue here into Craig, we were talking about this F40PH with the secondary HEP stack on there. Tsunami 2 has the ability to select between a secondary HEP. You have regular HEP with the regular prime mover or a steam generator, all built into the decoder, and it's all selectable with a couple of CVs. And so you can really make it do whatever you want it to do, and it's really fun to play with. And even still coming to these shows, I still get asked questions, and I have to think about it and then figure out a way to make it happen. So it's really fun and challenging to talk to people. And so I'm glad people like you enjoy using our products, and that's what makes it fun for us.
Now, George, you guys also make HON3 models. You've come out with some reefers lately, refrigerated ice cars for that line, for the
Yes.
Blackstone model line.
Yes, our refrigerator cars were well received. We actually sold out of those at the factory in less than 6 weeks.
That's amazing.
So if you're interested in getting any of those HON3 Blackstone refrigerator cars, be sure to get your retailer and get them on, buy them now before they're out gone.
It got me into narrow gauge, it got me buying books, and if you really think about it, it's the books that you look at, the prototype books, are what inspire you to want to model the areas that are so dead and gone from a long time ago in history, and then you find the models that are available. So it's absolutely amazing. So let's go over to Craig Walker now from Rapido Trains. Craig, what have you got on the table here?
And being from Canada, now we have to say A all the time. I'm really from California, but
A, right?
So I brought a few of our newer models. We will start off with one of the more exotic engines, and no, it's not Canadian. The New Haven EP5 Jet electric locomotive, which is coming along nicely. This is the first painted sample we've gotten, and we're, as always, making changes to it as necessary. What else we got? Coming up literally any day, because they're sitting in the warehouse. I think they may be shipping this week or next week. The B36-7s that a lot of you have been waiting for quite a while. A bunch of road names, including, in this case, Minnesota Commercial, one of the bigger railroads in the country, he said sarcastically.
And I got to say, the features list on these U23Bs are just fantastic. On the Santa Fe unit, you have a 4 LED rotating beacon that actually simulates the Stratolite that was on the prototype.
The sequential Stratolite, where four bulbs fire off in sequence.
Yeah.
And carrying that theme on, we also have new samples of our upcoming SW1200, the American EMD version. We did the Canadian one earlier. And there's a plethora of road names we're doing on these. Every one of them has got radically different details. And if you look at our table, we've got an array of them, and no two are alike. The headlights change, the spark arresters, the handrail styles, even the handrail stanchions change. One of them has a little twist at the bottom, beacons, antennas, all that fun stuff, and of course air horns.
Now, Craig, I got my eyes on that Mopac version. You got samples of that over there?
Over there, yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I know me and Mike Buddy would be real interested in seeing one of those things.
They're all unpainted, so I have to look at all the detail to figure out which one is which.
All right.
Also coming up fairly soon are the new RS11s, the American version of the RS18 that we've already done that's Canadian. And again, there are 4 different bodies on these. Everything from the SP Light package to the Norfolk and Western's grills that they added on in later years. Penzi with the antennas. There's a whole range of detail options on those. We also are showing the New Haven dining car, and we have a few dining cars now that come with China on the tables. If you have a chance, stop by the booth, peer in the windows, and you can see the place settings in there.
And that it's not just that they have the molded place settings, but these place settings the plates are painted white. The silverware is painted in a nice chrome metallic, so it looks like a real place setting. You just need to add the hungry passengers into the passenger car.
Oh, wow, you got to see that, guys.
It is amazing.
It's mind-boggling.
I've shot B-roll of that in the past, and I might be showing it right now. But yeah, the utensils, the plates, it's all there.
Yeah. But no menus, go figure. And speaking of food service cars, we also have samples, and this one is coming apart for a reason, of our upcoming Amtrak Horizon cars and the Comet commuter cars. This is the food service car, and the reason its body is coming off is so that we can show people the interior. Half of its coach, half of its tables, and then in the middle is the little kitchen area with a microwave and stuff. And as I like to point out to people over there, it's got everything, including the kitchen sink. It's
both of them.
Literally got a sink in there. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Will,
For the
that have
rim
LED,
shot.
will you put LED lights on those? Is that
Yeah,
light up?
these come with LED lights in the passenger cars, and they have a magnetic reed switch. You wave a wand that we provide over the car to turn it on and off.
I got to see this.
Now, you don't have a sample of this on the table, but I heard you all made a trip out to see Doyle McCormick's PA unit here recently.
Right. 2 weeks ago, we went to Portland, Oregon, and laser measured the PA that Doyle McCormick owns. It's a former Santa Fe PA, but Doyle grew up with the nickel plate road, so he restored it to nickel plate colors. Doesn't care. We don't care how it's painted. It's a spectacular looking engine in real life, and there are only 4 of them in existence today. So we got a chance to spend an entire day zapping it with a laser, and we've gotten the scans back from that. We've started the design work on all the variants we're going to do. And yeah, PAs have been done before by other companies. We're doing, well, we like to think a lot better detail, but we're also doing tons of road-specific details on those. Santa Fe with the MU receptacles in the nose, which nobody's done in plastic before. Erie Lackawanna at some point, not in the first run, with the MU receptacle on top of the nose. And my favorite, the Southern Pacifics, which are PA2s, again, never done in plastic, and with all that funky detail that SP put on engines, snow plows, unique antennas, completely different grills on the side, a different window on the back door. We're really looking forward to the SP units, at least I am.
That's absolutely amazing.
I got to tell you, this announcement is one of those that's gotten me just incredibly excited about seeing the product when it comes out, because I know it will go to the nth detail when you guys come out with it, because Rapido really does their research and really gets the details right.
Oh, thanks.
And I notice you're using TCS, which is also a neat decoder.
Right.
That's so many great companies. They all work together. There's competition in the room, but after hours, we all go out, we have dinner together. Every company in this room, they're all friends. This is the best hobby in the world simply because of that aspect of the hobby. And the great thing about our show is I've got 30 years of experience of working with these wonderful people that make the products that make all of us smile. And it's very easy to convey information from these companies in the language that us model railroaders all understand. I take great pride in that, and that's part of what we do on the What's Neat show.
Well, and just look at how far that friendly competition has brought the hobby in the last 30 years. I mean, it's incredible.
Amen, guys. All right, with that, let's bring up the regular podcast crew. Let's get Michael Buddy up here. I wish Daniel Coombs was here. So many people said, "Where's Daniel?" I know,
Thanks,
right?
guys. Ken thinks it was fun to be here.
You're awesome, George. I can't wait to have you on the bluff, brother.
You got it.
I got Campbell Rice back up here again. We got Michael Buddy and, of course, James Regier. And we're going to be broadcasting next weekend, show number 96. From our studio back home. We got a lot of new products to talk about there. We also got a photo shoot coming up, James, because we have a full moon coming out. So come on, guys, sit on up here and let's close this one out. So we've got the Gateway 2020 NMRA National coming up in St. Louis next year. It's going to be July 12th through the 18th. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be in our backyard.
I can see Mike right now just picturing what cars he's going to put in that car with its see-through grills there.
Right.
Amen on that. We're also going to have layout tours. My home layout and many of our other home layouts are going to be on tour in St. Louis. So look forward to the 2020 NMRA National coming up next year. I also want to thank very much Train Fest for inviting us out to do this magnificent show. I have met so many people that were absolutely gracious. A lot of selfies, a lot of handshakes, and a lot of people thanking us for promoting the very best hobby in the world. Anything else you guys would like to add to that before we close it out?
Just been great to be here. So many friendly faces, and I've really enjoyed seeing everybody and seeing especially all the hands-on stuff and the things for all the kids to get them back into the hobby.
And the hospitality has been tremendous, and yeah, thanks for all who have made this possible. It's been my first time at a big convention like this. I mean, I've been to the local ones in St. Louis, but this is by far the biggest one I've been to, and it's been it's been tremendous. It's been awesome.
It's been run very professional too. I've seen train shows, a lot of them over the last 30 years. They were right on top of it. They built us a stage. Anything we needed, we got. Parking. Thank you so much, guys. Mikey, anything else?
No, I'd just like to thank you, everybody, once again for all the feedback that we get, because it really makes it all worthwhile, and it warms my heart to know that you really, really appreciate what we're doing. So thanks, everybody.
Rock and roll. Like I always say on every show, it's the best hobby in the world. This show is made by model railroaders just like you. This is your show. So with that, guys, let's find a layout around here and let's go run some trains, right?
All day.